So I bought this new camera. It's a Sony WX300, and it has a record button. It's kind of cumbersome to push and to start, and then I have to push it to stop it. It doesn't have a timer. There is controls for the camera, but you need an iPad or a personal digital assistant to activate that feature in the camera. So I'm stuck with manually using it. I'm a little bit nervous right now because I know that potentially a lot of people are gonna watch me and listen to me. So I'm kind of a little bit, I haven't had any, well, what I've had before when I make a video. I'm pretty level right now because of my job. So they've put a stop to that. It was either, a paycheck or the highway. So I chose a paycheck. So I'm a little nervous. I haven't not, I'm not as comfortable doing this without the safety net of that, without that comfort, without that feeling of ease and lack of inhibition. I'm a little bit inhibited. Where I'm going to with this is that sometimes I think if there is an infinity, then in consciousness or sentience is universal. That is every other being, every other person, and most animals, higher level animals that are conscious, that have awareness of themselves, they are the same as me in that they are aware of themselves as a self, as a being. Given an infinite number of times or an infinite amount of time, and that all of reality is digital, is deterministic, is reducible down to forces, quantitative forces that inevitably are predictable, that are regular, that follow a specific pattern. Those patterns will eventually repeat themselves. And given that I am a form of consciousness, that I will repeat that also. But my consciousness being consciousness being universal, the same way that you feel you are a self, that you're a person that's independent, that's enclosed within a bag of skin, an isolated ego, an I of identity. I'm that way too, and so is everyone else. So we're all independently isolated feeling beings within ourselves. In that feeling, that knowing of them, the knowing of the self in that regard through a feeling state, not only of an intellectual state, but a feeling state, is universal. So that means it's interchangeable, that I believe that eventually, given an infinity, that I will reemerge as another form, and potentially we will all be each other eventually. So I'll be you, and you'll be me, and every other being that's ever existed, given an eternity, given an infinite number of cycles, you will eventually become all of those other beings. So every person in history, every person that you've ever known in your whole life, you will eventually cycle into that other person and live their life. And you will eventually cycle into me and be this person and live this life. And see from my eyes, hear from my ears, feel from my skin, be inside of this vessel, be me, and I'll eventually, vice versa, be you and everyone else that ever was. As strange and as weird as that sounds, that it could be that way. It could be. I'm just speculating. Now, if you've watched my other videos where I talk about how do you know you're dead? How do you know that you don't exist? If you're not there to be thinking about how you don't exist, and you're not there to measure the time, you're not there to feel, to make comparisons moment by moment by moment, and cogitate that you are a feeling, that you are hearing, sensing, that you're thinking, then there is no time. And that timelessness is the eraser, is the anesthesia, is the barrier between you and you're becoming another. And just as I will end, that there will be another, and there will be another I here to experience the world, and it will be a different form, but it potentially forever and ever and ever and ever, infinite number of persons of consciousness is coming and going and coming and going. I will eventually be you. You will eventually be me. And we will all be everyone at one time in the future. Is that weird? Is just the strangest thing that you could ever think of, that you could ever imagine? Thanks for listening. Bye.